See, let me grab the chat so I can see what's happening in the world. We'll wait for people to come in. Let's see, we've got comentos. We've got comentos. How did I get the shading? Oh man, years of feeding. Another masterpiece, yes, Sharky. Arthur's a nice guy. He's very patient. Unless he's waiting for his food, then he's like the worst cat on the planet. But everybody knows how that goes, so. What scale is it? Arthur is, I don't know. O feline. 16 pounds of chunk right here. But, so I am just waiting a few minutes. It's 3 o'clock now. I know we were ready to rock and roll. So, how many cats do I have? Just one. Today, of course, we are working on the witch. Got her primed and ready to rock and roll right here. Here, you hold on to her, Arthur. Here you go. Hold on to the menu. Thank you. Boop. Arthur, do you like our panther? He doesn't like the panther. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. Where do we get the bases for our minis? So these are all Reaper bases. You can check out reapermini.com and just type in base. And you will see that they have the base boss line of a bunch of different bases you can buy. And they have different styles. They have slotted bases. They've got, you know, all kinds, so. But it looks like more and more people are coming in. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. But, all right, cool. So, I will have to ditch Arthur, I'm sorry. He is very much so in the way whenever we do get started here, so. But we will be ready to rock and roll. Probably wait another 3 minutes. Arthur gets a little bit more camera time. Look, he loves it. He loves the camera time. Arthur, you're really showing off today, huh? All right. Arthur, you gotta go, buddy. I'm sorry, but you have to go. I know, it's upsetting. Can we move you? Come on, bud. Can I move you to your bed? Come on. Oh, he's upset. He's upset. All right. Nice jump. All right, so he has leapt away into the world to do his own thing, which is crawl back up and go to bed. You can see him whoop, over there in the shadows, barely. All right, so today, like I said, we're working on the witch, so let's check out our completed witch. Hoping I didn't get too many Arthur hairs in the immediate painting area. All right, so you can see on the left, our finished one. On the right, I did attach her to a bigger base. I figured that'd be a little bit simpler, but really what's fun about this sculpt that we're gonna be doing today is really the skin tone. We've got a nice alternate skin tone that you wouldn't typically see, since most fantasy miniatures are all the same. So, but we've got that. We've got the cool green sort of who wore the V split? Wasn't it J-Lo? J-Lo wore a dress in like the early 2000s that caused a bunch of drama. That was pretty much the same sculpt as a style as this sculpt. But so we've got that. We got the cool staff, and then we did have some glowing eyes and a glowing bowl of ingredientes. So we have to figure that out as well. But beyond that, I'm not too concerned about anything else. I think we should have a relatively simple time. So again, if you are wondering what colors we're going to be using today, we're going to be using Earth Brown. We're going to be using Auburn Shadow, some of the Olive Shadow, some of the Camouflage Green, possibly some of the Bright Turquoise, we'll see. Possibly some of the Deep Twilight. For sure, we're going to be using Noir Black. For sure, we're going to be using Bethalian, a chitin, any kind of white you want. I don't really care, but I have Splintered Bone near me. You can use the Linen White as well if you have the core set. And we don't need, do we need metallics? Yes, we do need, we're going to go ahead and use the Ancient Bronze since that's in this kit as well. So, but beyond that, hey Jan, good to see you. You missed Arthur. Arthur was on here for so long. So long. What's up, Cool Cat and Chittens? All right, so we need to, we're going to have to mute Sharky for the next hour.
I got you, I'm on it.
Yeah, that joke's not allowed. All right, so, just kidding, of course. But we can go ahead and get started on the skin. So if we kind of look at the skin that we did last, or on the painted version, you can tell we just have a very nice build up from that Auburn Shadow. Interestingly enough, relatively simple, and we use a little bit of Bethalian chitin to do the actual highlighting. So, but yeah, Jan, just watch the first 10 minutes of the replay if you want a close-up shot of Arthur's face. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I gotta fix my dealio here. Palette cam is not right. I always put my fingers there. You can tell right now we're at currently level 99 pasty nerd skin. We need to go to a little bit more of like sort of goes in the sun nerd skin. There we go. We're about right with my skin tone there. There we go. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out with a bang with Auburn Shadow. Find it a place to live here on the palette. We can get started. So we are going to do our 1-to-1 ratio of typical water to paint. So you can see I prep the area where I'm going to put it. And then I mix in the brush tip of paint. A little bit more. It's a little bit too flubbery for me this morning already. Or this afternoon, I should say. Wowee. What day and week is it? Also, this week, the May kit will be completed. Or sorry, not the May kit, but the kit that's coming next. Will be done as well. So you'll see those painted images. That way you can get the kits constructed next week. I feel like this is still too watery. I may have oversaturated my brush there. There we go. But I hope you all are having a good Monday. Drop a 1 in the chat if you just aren't wearing pants. And that seems to be the pandemic question that we keep asking. So we'll just roll with that one. And then let me know if you did anything fun over the weekend, what you guys were up to. I was doing painting, and we did the Patreon demo was about basing. So I did that video. Shout out to the new patrons as well. We are literally $1 away from me adding, or not $1, but one patron away at the $5 level from adding even more cool stuff to what we do on there every single month. This month, we had already jumped up to where I was doing an additional stream for the $10 plus tiers, so we're already going to be adding something else cool as well. Remember, you can check out all that stuff at patreon.com/minipaintingstudio, which you can see right there. So, Painting over the small string there on her arm. That's not really consequential for us right now. We'll be able to highlight that back up. Make sure you get the sides of the torso there. Up underneath the arm. Get the neck. Painting over the necklace doesn't matter at this point. Down the navel. Now I did have a pretty rough mold line right here that I didn't necessarily fix all too well, but it'll be obscured. And then I'm trying to, okay, so we did, or I did rather, all of that is cloth, so that's cool. Paint where the hands are gonna go. We do have one wash application with this, but it's very, very light. It's more of like a tint than a full application, so. Yoink, let me see, there we go. I believe the next kit is the Forest kit, if I am remembering correctly, which I love the Hero miniature for. It's a deep dive in the Reaper Vault, so I think people are going to be either surprised because they've never seen it before, or they're going to be pleasantly surprised because they're going to be happy that that's the selection we went with. So, all right, there we go. We're going to wait for that application of skin to dry. I guess I can show off the, let me see. Scavenger hunt, grocery shopping. Yep, same thing. Roll 20, that's cool. Ben watched the Watchmen show. I heard that was interesting. Let's see. What else did I miss? Wow, a lot of chatting going on. Sorry, I missed a bunch of it. I'll just make sure I didn't miss any pertinent questions. Dun, dun, dun. 3D resin printer from Sean. That's really cool. Nice. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything else, right? Brush licking. Yeah, it's just to make a point. I usually just roll it on my arm, so it doesn't make a difference. All right. All right, so let's see. Skin's almost done. That's cool. This was the base we sculpted for the Patreon class. So this base is made of green stuff and some other bits. So I showed how to sculpt. All of it involved. The paint job itself was a quick, like, 5-minute paint job. So that wasn't really the focus of the demo itself. But a lot of people requested basing and especially like sculpting cobblestones, things like that. So that was a relatively easy class to knock out, or demo class, whatever. The paint-alongs, of course, happen on the first and last Saturday of the month. Do I have the Vanitas over here? Oh yeah, I do. This was the last Patreon that we did. We painted up this sweet Warlock as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of the Earth Brown, get that out onto the palette. And then some of our Bethalian color here. And then I also want to get a little bit of our olive shadow. Here we go. All right, so we're prepped for the next few steps of the paint job here. Let's see. All right. Oh, Noir Black. Whoops. Some Noir Black as well. All right. I'm being lazy and not grabbing my pokey tool, but I'm not too concerned. There we go. All right, so if we compare the two skin tones, you can see that really highlighting up this skin is a question of nuance and not necessarily a brute force tactic. So I'm gonna change our focal length here a little bit. Now it's nice and crisp. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a brush tip full of our earth and brown and mix that in. We need a little bit more because there's a lot more of that pigment there. There we go. One reason I'm doing that is it kind of neutralizes the auburn shadow a bit, and then I'm going to add some of the Bethalian color in. There we are. And this is all thinned down to our typical ratio as well. So the first part here that we're going to do is focus on the chesticle area. So we're going to go right up underneath the buzz, pushing it right up underneath where that shadow hits, and I'm pushing my brush up towards where I want it to taper. That's going to give us a really wonderful highlight. You can see it building in right there. It's a beautiful color. Then I'm also going to trail it down slightly each side of the abdomen, and then I'm going to highlight it right at the belly button, like so. Taking that same color, I'm going to go ahead and apply it on top of the magical orbs of insanity here. There you go, both orbs painted insanely. And then I'm going to go ahead and highlight that up directly in between the orbs of insanity and right underneath that necklace. So I want to leave some of the shadow on each side of the orb, but I definitely want to do that little patch of flesh there in between, highlight it up nicely. And just pushed up in there, just like that. Now then, second area I'm going to focus on with this application is going to be the thighs. If we're looking at the miniature on camera, you can see that this color is reflecting a bit of light, and guess what? Spoilers, that's exactly where we're going to put the highlights. That's why I always like to have a lamp directly above my miniature, or at least at a 45-degree angle from the way that I hold it, and that way I can just kind of cheat and use my actual light to tell me where to do the highlight. So that's what I'm going to do here. Applying it all the way until about halfway up the leg there. Wiping off the excess so I can taper it. And we're going to taper it down to the kneecap. So I'm going to also apply that on the kneecap. Same color again. Oh, we're also going to do right in between. She's like flexing this inner tendon because she's shrieking into the jungle evening. There we go. So we're going to highlight that up too. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Removing the excess and tapering down the edge of the volume and right onto the kneecap. So. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing we did on this, the other tendon here. Do it right there. Just a small highlight. Do the top of the shoulder. Pretty easy. Top of this bicep into the forearm. Go ahead and highlight up the fangies here. Top of the footer. Other top of the footer. Really kind of the side there. You're going to see where I'm going to actually place the highlight though. I'm going to go up and around this edge. Since her foot is tilted, it'll be catching light a little bit differently on this side. So we're going to go ahead and apply it there. That looks great. I'm just using the side of my brush there to overbrush the toesers. Now then, rotating the miniature slightly, you're going to tell, wow, we have a whole different angle to paint it from. Well, you're right, we do. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of color down this edge underneath the muscle. She got that big old thigh muscle popping. And then I'm going to go ahead and gently, gracefully, peacefully apply it there. I keep forgetting to delete this dumb song from the whole thing. Can I literally just delete you from my life? Thank you. There we are. So, highlighted that up a little bit. I'm also going to hit the ankle because the ankle is protruding. Okay. Then towards the back of the calf, we're going to do the top of the calf where it meets the underside of the knee. Fun story from my life. The only time I've ever had poison ivy, it was behind both of my knees. I couldn't walk, and I also found out that I am the kind of allergic to poison ivy to where I just bleed. I don't even get a rash. My skin just bleeds. So that was cool. I missed 2 weeks of school in 7th grade, and people started a rumor that my family moved to Mexico. So that was a fun, weird experience. But that also probably explains why I just don't go in the woods, right? If we're playing baseball in your backyard and that ball goes into some trees behind your fence, not me. Don't ask me. I'm not the one. I'm not going to go get that ball, okay? Then the top of this majestic glute that we got a little peek of right there. And then we're going to do a little bit of the side just like that. Top of the hand to you. I feel like that's going to be a thing we're constantly memeing for the rest of all of my painting. And then, of course, we're going to focus in on the face for our first application. You know, the thing about this paint job is pretty much that we're focusing on the skin only. Nothing else is really a necessary like focal point, other than if you did something crazy, like you made her garment there out of like a freehand pattern of like a zebra. The zebra pattern would be dope. If somebody wants to do that, I would love to see it. Or if cheetah, that'd be really cool if somebody wants to do it. We're not doing that, and instead we're gonna make the eyes and her bowl of magical green goodies glow. So, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the cheek and the eye duct area. I'm gonna trail that down to where her lip begins. I'm gonna go up underneath the nose, the cheek, the eye duct area, trailing to the side of the mouth. Now, I'm not gonna highlight any of that up because of where the light is gonna be hitting her skin, as we would typically. The chin doesn't really matter, and then the top where her hair is in her forehead, that's pretty much the only place that we're paying attention to. So I would say we're about halfway to the highlighting that we want currently. We have pretty much one more application. You can tell we're going to go a little bit more Bethalian on the skin, so that's what we're going to be going for. Was what a common... See, I say things and I forget what they were. What did I say, Peter? What did I say, Peter? I already forgot. Let me see. Can we have all the spots similar to the orbs of insanity? Thighs of lies, shins of sin. I mean, yeah, we can do that, Chewy. I'll figure it out. The bowl of boisterousness. She's got the staff infections. That's what she gives you when she casts a spell. She is a witch after all. She floats in water like a duck. Or maybe she doesn't float. I don't remember. If you float, are you a witch? It's been too long since I've watched Monty Python. Booty of Bewitching? Yeah, she got a booty of bewitching for sure right there. But let me see. Cyberstorm, sorry. Or Cyberstorm, sorry. That if you drown, you're innocent. Gotcha. Thank you, Xanifer. All right, so I'm stuck in the ice troll from January because of all the skin. Are there close-up anywheres to see what you did? I have the miniature here. I don't know where he is, though. I'll have to see. I know I have a high-res version of the photo. Or not the photo, but like the kit packaging. So I probably have something there for you too. But I'll have to look and see. So, if you had to experience one, would you do poison ivy or chiggers? Well, chiggers don't last that long, is the difference. So, I mean, and you can also put stuff on your legs that like kill them because they get suffocated, I believe. I mean, yeah, it sucks, but I mean, I guess we're talking how bad of a situation you're in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a, go ahead.
I think your option is chiggers all over your body, or poison ivy on 25% of your.
No. Then the answer is no.
Which is worse?
Which is worse? At that extent, because you're saying all over your body, so I wouldn't want to deal with that, right? Like if it was just the back of my legs, then yeah, I would want the chiggers. But because that was the thing, is like the only relief I could get without itching, because you obviously can't itch the poison ivy when it bleeds like that. I would have to, I would just go stand in the shower and just let it hit the back of my legs for like 20 minutes, and then I'd go and lay down on my stomach again. So it was pretty intense. Definitely not what I was expecting. Because, you know, you hear poison ivy and people are like, oh, I got this itchy rash. Oh, no. And then, you know, you just put some cream on it. You hang out for a while. But the doctor was like, oh, you're like the worst kind of, you're the worst kind of allergic to this. So, all right. So if we look at the two, we have to use a little bit more nuance here on the orbs of destruction, okay, or whatever we use there. But I'm going to be highlighting a little bit more directly in the center only, just the belly button, and then the sort of volumetric parts of the orbs themselves. So what that means, we're going to push directly in the center again, but not as much this time around as we did the first time. We want that color to still remain visible. Easiest way to do that is just push at a 45-degree angle with the tip of your brush, which is what I did right there to get it to transition up. Then I'm going to apply a highlight on the edge where the flesh meets the outfit. Just like that. And then directly on top, underneath the necklace. We're going to do one more application as well. I broke it down in multiple steps here rather than just doing like two, just so that way you don't go too fast in, you know, the highlighting stages. So again, we're going to go at the top of the leg and then the knee. So top of the leg to you right here. And then the knee. There you go. I will do the inside of the thigh of lies here. There we go. Just a little bit on that side. Top of this thigh. Using my finger to taper. That's a classic secret. And top of the knee again. Not going to highlight up the front of that foot, but we're going to rotate the miniature again. And I'll highlight up the ankle and just the top of that part. Bottom of the ankle, top of the calf, top of the ankle, or heel, sorry, that's not an ankle. Calf a little bit. Arms, we'll do just that section. I forgot that that's not actually flesh. We painted that as cloth on the other part, so on the other one, so that's what we'll do there. Top of the arm, top of the hand, bicep, shoulder, and biceps covered on that arm. And then we're going to focus in again on the face. So on the face, we're going to focus in on the tear duct area, outside of the eye, the opposite of the tear duct there. Top of the lip running down the side. The other side of the face, tear duct. Other side of the eye. Top of the lip. Forehead. Nose. And that's it. So now we're ready to move in to the secondary layer there. Or really the final highlight. I'm saying secondary layer of this highlight application, but it's just the final highlight color. Nothing too crazy. Let me move this out of the way real quick too, make sure I'm not missing any weird updates. All right, cool. Weird updates. All right, so I'm gonna take another brush tip full of our Bethalian color. This color is much brighter, but it's like our final point highlight. All right, so we're going to go directly in between the fleshy orbs of destruction. Just like that. We want that to be the brightest point. I'm going to go ahead and do the belly button again as well. Doing slightly again the area where it connects to the fabric. That would be the brightest highlight point there. Get a little bit closer. There we go. So, I'm going to go back in again just to make sure that color is relatively opaque. There we go. I'm going to go back in and shade the side because I just hit it with the side of my brush where I didn't need to do that. And then just right up on the top there. Remember, these are round objects, so curve your highlight edge. And there you go. But, so I'm going to go back in, a little bit darker color, and highlight up this connection across the top. There we go. And this connection across the top, and then the side that I accidentally highlighted. There we go. That should connect the dots for us. All right, so taking that color back onto the leg, we're just going to do the top part that we did last time. Just right there. Then the knee. This knee over here. Top of the thigh. Moving around, we'll do the heel. Ankle. Calf. Heel. Top of the arm. Elbow area. Not too worried about the fingers currently. If we're going to do work around them, we'll highlight it up. Top of that arm on the bicep. And then focusing in on the face. So, get nice and close for you. Tear duct. Other side of the eye. So you can see that nice highlight structure, right? Should I bump this? Oh, that's too bright. Let me see. Yeah, it helps. All right, we'll leave it on that. So this side, tear duct, and then the other side of the tear duct. Now, my brush beefed on me on that side, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. There's hair over there anyway. Top of this left eyebrow. Nose. Side of the mouth here where the lips are. Just at the top. This brush is dying, so I gotta get it wet again. There we go. Side of the top of the lip, underneath the nose, just like that, and on this side as well. And there we go. I would say that that face is pretty much finito. Let me redo the focus. Yep, that looks good to me. Very good highlight structure. So now then, since you have earth and brown out on your palette, I'm going to mix a little bit over here with noir black. Actually, a lot of it. And Bethalian shit. I just totally messed up that whole color. But it's fine, it's fine. Totally cool. Just mix them all. We will rock out with a gray to build up the hair. So. Careful when you're doing the hair though, because it does sort of cut into the side of the face there. There are some individual hairs as well, so like right here, you can just kind of cut it into the face. We're gonna shade it down and everything, so it really won't make too much of a difference for you. Be mindful of the feathers and everything. This middle section is not feathers though, that's just straight up hair. All right, so. Actually, I want to fix this little hair mistake. This little hairer, you could call it. Oh, good. All right. There we go. All right. So now we've got that blocked in. One of the reasons I wanted to do that was to work on the glowy eyes. Ooh. So let's do that really quick. We can also build it in to the bowl of ingredients. So we'll go ahead and use the Bethalian color since it's out on the palette. Not a big deal. I'm going to put it into each eye. Take your time here. Don't be afraid. Looks good to me. I don't like this angle. All right, so let's see. So I'll go ahead and fix that cheek real quick. Not that it makes a huge difference, but I'll reapply it in. I just want to make sure we have a good base for the glowing effect. That's all I'm worried about. Let's see. The camera, unfortunately, is just like right where my eye is, so it's messing with my depth perception. There we go, that'll work out. Clean it up in post, AKA right here. I said we'll clean it in post. Justin's like, what?
Yeah, it did perk my ears a second.
You're like, what?
It's like, hey, these YouTube
Just do
videos
that.
they don't go in post.
Also, shout out to, I forget the username, but shout out to the one guy that leaves nice comments on every video. Thank you, I appreciate you. I have seen your comments, and it is very, very nice. Actually, if you're watching this on YouTube as you paint along with this miniature at home, I would like to see a sentence that says, "Why, yes, I too enjoy painting." There you go. We'll just leave it real weird, like a bunch of bots are on the page. All right, so
you love blowing up my comment section, don't you?
that's the point. I want Justin to get a bunch of notifications that he can't really do much with. So, all right, so we're just gonna paint.
It's funny when they're the same thing, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, especially if you're someone that randomly finds the video and you haven't watched any of it, and you like scroll down as you hit play to see the comments, and you're like, what is going on? All right, so I'm gonna fill the top of the bowl with the Bethalian color. And then the color that we're gonna be using today, I did do phthalo green. You can do whatever you want, whatever color you've got in front of you that makes sense. That being said, I'll give you a little bit of help there. You don't really necessarily want to do like a red. You could do an orange, you could do a magenta. I was hoping my clear green was right here. I was gonna go with green, but I don't think I have my green here. I got a bunch of sand. I got my basing mix here. Wow, wow, wee, wow, look at that. But, painter's choice, of course. All right, well, I guess fine, whatever. We'll use phthalo green. I don't care. I've got it right here. If you don't have phthalo green, look, you're gonna be real close. Just use the turquoise, and it'll work okay. All right, get a little bit out on the palette. Very precious phthalo green. Oop. What is happening with this brush? All right, so I'm gonna prep an area for it on the palette. There we go, look at that. So, taking it watered down. So. I'm just going to apply it just like that. So that'll be our first application. And again, you can do this with any color. So, painter's choice, up to you. Place it in and around the eye there. In and around the eye. Not too much, though. There we go. We'll do one more application on top of this one. While we're waiting on that to dry, go ahead and take our camouflage green. Is this the camo green or is this one? Which one did we put out? We didn't put olive shadow out yet, did we? Oh, we did, right? Yes, okay, just kidding. Go ahead and take your olive shadow. I couldn't tell, they're so similar. All right. You're gonna want your olive shadow, and we're gonna go ahead and apply this on to the outfit. Zilligoth, I haven't been doing gloves for like a month because I don't want to waste them. I'll use one glove a day. That's like my limit. Typically, like before wanting to wear gloves to touch things outside, I would go through maybe like 3 gloves on average a day, three or four gloves a day. So. Finger green here, down here at the bottom as well. Everything else are feathers. All right, so flipping to the back. Somebody asked, what are you using for a palette? It's a wet palette. But I don't use parchment paper. Parchment paper is bad. Bad, bad, bad for the way that I paint. That's the disclaimer. For the way that I paint, it's terrible. So I just use wax paper. Or sorry, baking paper. Baking parchment? Sorry, I don't use the wet palette paper like Masterson's. That's bad. Whatever the answer is, I use the Reynolds baking sheet. Not the fine art palette paper. That stuff is not for what we need it for. No stay wet over here. Even though I do use the stay wet container. Yeah, baking paper is parchment. There you go, yeah. I only had my second coffee. Well, I haven't finished it, actually. At all. Usually I'm like 3 in. Alright, so. Forgive my awful prep. Again, there's no prep video on this. just because it's so simple, but I guess I could have recorded cutting that tab. Whoopsie daisy. I hope you all can survive. But painting the inside of this part of the cloth. There we go. And then we also did this side of the arm as it was cloth. So we'll go ahead and do that here as well, as if she's wearing like a sleeve, just to create some visual variance on the miniature. I know I'm sorry, I'm confusing. As someone informed me this weekend, I am ruining the painting community, so I'm sorry my confusion is adding to that. All right, so finishing off the sleeve base coat. So we've got the outfit ready to rock and roll here. So we're going to add one more little application of the phthalo green. And we're only going to focus on the outside of the bowl. So around the rim there, leaving it lighter in the center. I'm just taking it directly from our pile. This isn't the thinned down version. There we go, just like that. The eyes, I mean, I'm kind of cool with the eyes, but I believe it's a little bit brighter over on that side. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and do it again. Seems a tad harsh. Yeah, exactly. You have no idea the hateful messages I get for painting toys on the internet. It's super hilarious. All right. Can do one more application, then we'll just paint over the eye. Brighten it back up, because we're gonna do it on the bowl anyway. There we go. That's better color. Okay. Now then, taking the Bethalian color, we're going to go ahead and prep all of the bones and the feathers. They're painted very similarly, so we're going to highlight the feathers up with whatever white you choose, and then the bones are just going to be highlighted back up to Bethalian, and they're both close enough to where it doesn't make too much of a difference. I mean, it's you can tell it's two different colors, but like it's not as much of a difference that we need two different base colors, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin this process. Now you can choose to do a bunch of different feathers if you want. You can make every single feather a different color, etc., etc., etc. In the interest of time and us not painting every feather a totally different color. That's why I'm doing it this way. We're just gonna have it be the same thing. So. Gonna fix our mistake here. Your mistake. It's your mistake too, since you're watching. It's always funny when I say our and us. I don't know how I've trained my brain to do that. There we go. Just cover up that little bloopster right there. We'll probably end up doing 2 coats as well. The Bethalian does an okay job, but it doesn't give me really, really good coverage, so. No fault of its own. It's just, it is what it is with these colors. You have the little skulls on the left and right. What's happening? Sorry, give me 2 shakes. Okay. And then we've got a skull thingy on the edge of the blade. We have a skull thingy in the center of the blade. Some kind of skull. I like to imagine maybe little goblins. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not gonna ask the witch. You don't ask witches questions, man. That's how you end up in a box. Because they shrink you. They don't kill you, they just shrink you. And they put you in a box. Anyway. That's a Mardi Gras story for another day. Got skulls here. Feathers all over here. I think I accidentally took 2 doses of my allergy medicine today, so I'm kind of like feeling weird. I don't know the best way to put it.
Do you feel sleepy? Because that's
No.
what it does to me.
No, mine's the opposite. It makes me feel like wired and dried out, pretty much.
BRB taking 4 doses.
Yeah, right. Head
If
feathers.
it's caffeine when you have allergy medication.
I mean, it's probably the double espresso latte, and then I also had G Fuel this morning instead of coffee. I'm doing okay. We'll be okay. We'll okay. Every day is okay in quarantine. You would hope. Okay, so now then, we have the Bethalian chit now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and dot the I. Very gently, we're gonna re-highlight up the eye. Wow, it's glowing. Wow. Actually, the other one I feel like doesn't need to be brightened. So we're cool there. We're cool there. So we're gonna let that chill. I'm gonna go ahead and do her 2 front teeth that were so gracefully sculpted. Look, she's like, I'm a witch. I'll brush my teeth. Does she have more teeth than that? Let me see. Hold up. We're gonna explore like a dentist, right? Dentist the Explorer over here. We have side teeth. All right, we got side teeth. All right, I'm gonna give her more than just hobo teeth. And then I'll repaint the skin there. There we go. Definitely goofed on the lip. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna let that dry before I do anything else. There we go. Okay, taking the Bethalian color and some of your phthalo, or whatever color you used. So if you used green, if you used blue, if you used magenta, anything like that. And we're gonna highlight up some of the ingredients as we move to the middle of the bowl. So I need more. I need more! Actually, we're gonna soil the perfect Bethalian in the center. There we go. That's what we're looking for, is a nice little highlight up in the center of the bowl there. West Virginia. No, I think she's probably just some idiot from Oklahoma. That's probably how it goes. She's the chick that sells the spoiled meat to Joe Exotic. That's how that works.
Whoa, who is?
The witch that we're painting.
Wow.
That's her job.
I hear that that kind of meat makes really good pizza.
Woo! Do you happen to, are there any videos that show the pizza? Do you have a tutorial? Can it be done in an air fryer?
Yes. Oh yeah.
All right, so all right, rocking and rolling on that end. So now we're just gonna make a wash out of our Noir Black. Surprise, surprise. We're gonna go ahead and make that over here. Looks good to me. We got that flubber consistency. We're gonna wash it all over everything. Darn it. We should have painted this. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, guys. We will fix it. I'm not gonna comment on it, but we're gonna fix it. Go ahead and wash this on top of the hair and the outfit as well. Did I just say complete words there? The hair and the outfit as well. Yeah, okay, cool. So. There we are. Make sure you wash all the bones. Haha. Wash the bones. Haha. So. Our little sleeve here. She's covering up her tattoo that she can't have visible in the restaurant where she serves the glowing bowls of food. What it is, it's glowing guacamole. Glowing guacamole. Glocamole? Guacaglowy? I'm done. I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to keep going. I am going to run it down the edge of the cloth where it meets the skin as well, just to get a little bit of a line. Oh, a younger Yzma? Man, if Yzma used to look like this, what happened, honey? What happened? Plotting against the state did not work well for you, huh? That's one of my favorite Disney movies, though, for sure, without a doubt. Emperor's New Groove is just such a classic. All right.
Hold the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever? Wrong lever? Wrong lever? All right, so we're just gonna let this dry for a second. No, see, Justin only halfway listens, so I can get away with bad jokes, Sharky. I don't get in trouble for bad jokes, typically. Typically. All right. Oh man, yeah, Carwin, so we were looking at houses over the weekend. And as we were driving back, you know, we're just stressing about the cost that it's going to cost to move in, pay deposit, all that stuff. And so we're driving and we see drive-through margaritas. They were like, drive-through margaritas, da, 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 da. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? Let's just do it. I was expecting it'll probably be like $20 total or whatever, because that's just what it's, I mean, 2 margaritas, they're like $8 each plus tax, whatever. So we drive through. And the restaurant that it was attached to set up the margarita station or whatever in like a snow cone stand. So one of those little sheds. So we pull up and the margaritas were $7.99. So all right, yeah, whatever. That's pretty expected. And we got a passion fruit and a mango, and they were amazing. So I wish they were 64 ounce. So I got the mango, Sydney got the passion fruit. You know, they were probably like 12 ounce in you know, to-go container things with lids with no straw hole. Not that I intended to do anything, but there was no straw hole. So we got that, and then she's like, oh, but you have to order food. And so I'm like, okay. And she's like, you can get chips and salsa. And I'm like, all right, you know, cool, chips and salsa, right? It was an $8 order of chips and salsa with a very minimal amount of chips. And the salsa actually, I mean, the salsa wasn't too bad. Like, they give us the same amount of salsa as they did, like 12 ounces worth, like a huge cup. And to their credit, I probably would have charged like $6, I don't know. But it was handmade, it was fresh, it was hot. You know, they even like put cilantro on top of the container, like when you opened it, whatever. And it was hot, like temperature-wise, not spice-wise. So it was fresh, and it was fantastic. You know, you could only take a sip, or you could only take a bite every like 2-3 minutes. You had to like ice it down. But it was funny. So it ended up being like a $30 little roadside adventure, which I probably wouldn't do again. But that was as close as we had gotten to Mexican food, unless, you know, so like my roommate had made some sweet, like fajita chicken tacos last night, and then previously last week, Sydney had made like zucchini veggie tacos. So I mean, we've been hitting back and forth on that off and on, but yeah, I mean that was kind of like, I'm like, yeah, let's get a little margarita, see what goes down, but it was pretty good. And you know, we're throwing them some money. I didn't feel too bad. Obviously, everybody's hurting right now. So I'm gonna take out our camouflage. Yeah, it was worth it. It was good. I mean, trust me, I was actually a little bit upset because I thought a passion fruit margarita like wouldn't be that good, but it was killer. It was better than the mango, so I was a little bit mad.
I low key love passion fruit, by the way.
See, I expected it to be like red or like pink. The margarita was the same color as the other one, so I was kind of like, huh, okay. But it tasted great. It had like more depth. I guess that's the best. It was more savory, if that makes sense. I don't know. It was really good. So, either way, and we definitely got them frozen. I was like about to order it on the rocks because that's typically, you know, you get more bang for your schmuck. But we went the frozen route. But okay, everything's dry. So let's go ahead and kick it off in highlight land here. I'm gonna take some of our camouflage green. I'm gonna mix it in with the whatever shadow. What is it, guys? Olive shadow. Mixing the two. We're gonna begin our highlighting on the outfit. Do you have a Margaritaville at your house, Nomad? Is that what you're saying? Did you have to finance it in the 2008 financial crisis? Isn't that what the South Park episode's about? All right. Highlight up this top portion. We're going to leave a sheer highlight underneath the Orbs of Destruction because that's going to increase the dramaticness of the volume there. We're going to start in the folds beneath it, though, right here. That's simple enough. Y'all can do that. I know you can do it. In between the inner thigh meat here, we're going to highlight this up a little bit. And then the top part of the loin fold. You know, interesting fact, that's actually where the history of the term billfold came from, but we won't get into that today. So we're going to flip it to the other side of the miniature. Top of the booty of bewitchment. And this convex fold here. Just like that. Top of the bottom fold. And then we'll do this sort of back fat area. If I was wearing this outfit, of course. I'm just going to highlight that up a little bit. I was wearing cheetah print overalls this weekend that are shorts, but that's a whole nother conversation. So we're going to do the sleeve here. Easy enough. Flip it around. Inner fold of the arm. All right, cool. Now, if you had to guess what we're doing next, we'll just straight up camouflage green. I'm going to focus more so on the bottom part of the torso as we do this application. Why? Well, because the Orbs of Doom would be casting more of a shadow directly underneath them, so we're not going to focus on that part. We're going to focus on this part. That's why. Physics. Magnets. How do they work? So there we go, just like that. And then I'm going to use the side of my brush to do a very fine highlight right down the edge of the sculpt. Since the sculptor was so nice to include an edge there, we may as well make it real. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but that's what I'm doing. So now I'm going to take this color, same thing. You're going to go right on the edge, and then right up on the edge of the orb of destruction, and highlight that up. Like so. Is that what I did on this one? Oh, we went brighter. Yeah. So we have one more highlight step after this. Camouflage green's nice. It's not necessarily like a goblin green, you know what I mean? But it's close enough to green skin. That's how I'm painting the stuff for Moonstone, actually. So the goblin skin here, right? I like it for my goblin-y skin. So I've had some more people reach out about the private lessons. I know that everybody saw the assassin I painted up as a private lesson over the weekend or on Friday, and that was fun. Remember, you can always check that out. You can get them as a part of Patreon. You actually save $35 a lesson if you go that route, or you can book them individually. You can check that out, of course, at minipainting.studio. I think I'm setting another one up soon that is less of a paint along and more of a conceptualization, and it's more of like how to absorb information and apply them in the techniques that we use with painting, which is kind of like a question of, you know, how can you easily come up with reference in your head when painting? You don't have to look things up, for materials, for paint schemes, just pretty much like how I approach painting and the things that I've done to sort of increase that skill. So that's cool. You know, when it comes to the private coaching, anything like that, it's always very flexible in terms of topic, application, whatever it is. So now I'm going to take that, I'm going to highlight up the interior portion of our sleeve. Arm. Oh, Justin, have you ever watched What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, and I saw that there was a new a show that they're doing now to kind of parallel it, right?
So I watched all of it with Sydney over the weekend, and because I had watched it initially, like the original thing, and I thought, well, this is kind of...
I love the original.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, all right, this is funny, you know, cool, whatever. It isn't something I could like watch again, right? Like I feel like it's kind of like a one and done. Still great. But then I started watching the show, and the show, I would have to say, is even better. It's just great. It's so funny. So if you haven't watched, oh, look, Sydney's now in the chat. Look, she's been lurking this whole time, and now she's like, you gotta watch the show. But yeah, I mean, it was...
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, because I saw it, and I was like, isn't it on Amazon Prime?
No, it's on Hulu. FX on Hulu?
Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
If you don't have a Hulu account, we can throw a Hulu account your direction if you need to watch it.
I appreciate that. But no, luckily we have one. It's our TV, apparently.
Ah, okay,
I mean, I was told. I don't make that decision.
But yeah. It was good, man. And
no,
then,
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just kept, I kept wondering, you know, it's one of those things where all of a sudden I'm like, wow, it's like 1:30 in the morning. So we should go to bed. And yeah, they do new episodes every Thursday, so that's cool.
How many episodes are out right now?
Sydney, would you say there's like 10 or something? Maybe? I don't know, something around that. All right, so we're finished with this application. Now what I'm going to do is, oh, you know what? We need Bethalion out again. Okay, 10 episodes, season 1, 2 for season 2. There you go. Sydney and I are going to watch that weird Pendleton Ward show that just got released today on Netflix. That should be a trip. And Duncan Trussell, like that's the weirdest collab. All right, so I added a little bit of Bethalion shit, and you can see right here, to highlight it up a little bit. So this will be our final highlight application on the clothing. So I'm gonna do just the edges. of our highlights, like so. Down the inside edge. There we go. You can see it, how bright it is. It's not too crazy. The only thing I'm confused about with that show is that the animation looked like it was like choppy, like freeze frame. So I don't know, it just didn't seem very fluid. I'm hoping that isn't the case, because sometimes that stuff makes me like seasick, but we'll see. If not, Sydney and I will just have to do another Betrayal Legacy haunt. What's funny is our families have killed the same characters every time. So whenever you play that game, you have a family. And then every session is set like typically 30 years apart or a little bit longer depending on which generation. And so we had the same results, essentially, 2 haunts back to back, which was pretty entertaining. But yeah, that's the first Legacy game I've played, and we're having a really fun time with it, so. Sharky, it could be a speed thing as well. Taking this highlight color just up on the top edge here of the bottom part of the cloak. Or what? It's not a cloak, you get it, whatever this is. Whatever she's wearing, man. All right, so now we're going in the middle part of the arm. I'm literally just doing the middle like that, like one small touch. I just want it to kind of shine a little bit. Remember, for those of you that don't have a sweet Reaper skull by your name, Betrayal Legacy, yes. Remember, you can always subscribe for free if you're an Amazon Prime customer, or if you've done it in the past, double check and see when you need to do it again. Click that subscribe button in the top right-hand part of your browser if you're watching on a desktop. If you're on your phone, I don't know what to tell you, but the option's there somewhere deep in the guts. See, check it out. Chewy just re-upped on his. You can do the exact same thing, or theirs, I don't know, Chewy. If you're a lad or a lady. Oh, see, look, now we got people re-upping their subs. Thank you so much, Malvernus. Make sure you do that. It helps support all of the shows here on Reaper's Twitch channel. Of course, you can support us either way, again, by either buying kits or doing that. Either way, you're helping it out. If you're ever interested in what hobby supplies that I use while I do work, or if you just want to help support me further, if Patreon's not your thing, you can always help me out by following that Amazon link that people drop into the chat, and you can do your shopping as you normally would. Doesn't cost you any extra pennies, and they just throw me 3 to 5% of anything that you purchase. That link also takes you directly to a shop where I've got pretty much everything that I use here available for you as well, in case you were ever wondering. I've also had I had multiple people email, or not email, but send messages to the page asking for like airbrush purchasing advice and things like that. If you ever do have questions like that, always feel free to shoot them my way. I'm not gonna like immediately answer you unless I'm right there at the computer and I can. But I always do try and help people out if they have generic questions about things like that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that earth brown out. I forgot to paint the staff, so we're gonna paint the staff. We'll probably use this color as well. I'm gonna move to an entirely different portion of the palette. We'll use this color to do our straps and doodads. Thank you, Jan. Reaper Dave gave you a sub. When was that? How long have you had that sub? I'm confused. All right. So now we're just going to do all the little strings, bits, bobs, all those little details we're going to paint up with this color. This is the earthen brown. Then we're going to wash it down. Paint the staff the same color. keep seeing all these messages. You guys are in deep philosophical talk about cartoons. All right. My favorite cartoon of all time has to be the Glorious Misadventures of Flapjack. I think that's what it's called. Something like that. I just really appreciate the animation. It's pretty crazy. They've got the huge watercolor backdrops, all that stuff. All right, so now taking this color to the front, we have all kinds of bits and bobbles and doodads and do-whats. I've had too much caffeine today. I like barely have any brush control. Okay, so now we're gonna do the necklace. Actually, we're not gonna do the necklace, the whole thing we're gonna do in gold or whatever. So the wristband we've got on over here, we're gonna go ahead and slaminate that with the color. Slaminate being an industry term, of course. Justin's familiar, right?
Yeah.
There you go, see?
I'm hip to all the lingo.
I now have power of attorney over Justin's estate. All right, so now that we tricked him into that.
I'm laughing at the idea of an estate.
Yeah, I know, right?
Power of attorney.
All right. So we're going to let this dry a couple seconds. Actually, let's go ahead and bust out the ancient bronze. Everything is going to start finishing up here in relative quick order. All right. Ancient brains. So I'm gonna pick some bits, some bobs, some woobles down here. Random woobles. You can tell we got some random woobles there. And then we're gonna do the necklace. Be very careful. There you go. That was easy, right? Do this little. She got a little earring action there. She got a little earring action. We got an ear over here. We don't have an ear over there. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the bangles on the sleeve. We're just gonna do that whole section as if she is just balling on a budget in the middle of the jungle. She got gold bangles. And then over here we got same situation. Make sure when you apply the paint you go. If you skip that, you fail. Hey Chaz, thanks. All right, so I'm gonna take this color and we're just gonna do the entire sheath. Why? Because I'm lazy. Don't ask questions. You can painter's choice it all you want, but we're just gonna do it this way. Why? I already told you, because I'm lazy. You can do it how you want though, painter's choice. You can go as in-depth as you need to. I'm just gonna keep it ancient bronze. Okay, this wristband away. We got some sweet details that we can do in the same color, so we got that there. Then anklets. These are Chanel anklets, so you know they're very expensive. Only the finest in the jungle. All right, we got that. Other side of the top of the blade. Didn't paint that. Okay, cool, cool. Got that, cool. Got everything that we need, cool. And then I believe I did the bowl. And yeah, I did. So we did the bowl in this color as well. Just got a little bronzy bowl. She's got a bowl. haircut. Why are there no miniatures with bowl haircuts? Can we petition Bobby Jackson?
Actually, I think some of his henchmen do.
You're totally right. Wait a minute. I do believe that. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, too. All right. So we got that knocked out. Let's go ahead and pretend that we are on top of the world here. I'm going to take our Noir Black Wash, and we're going to wash down our bronzes. All right. Put it on top of the boobles, the bobbles, the wibbles, the wobbles. Right around the neck there, just to give some defining value to everything that we've done. Do it on the wrist. Make sure to hit the bowl. Hit the bowl. That's funny. All right, guys. We are looking good. So let's go ahead and apply this to the staff as well. How many of you guys got some of the vellum plants that we used on the bases for this kit? You can drop a 1 in the chat. If you haven't, remember, you can always check out all the cool stuff that Gregory has for sale over at Wicked Elf Miniatures. Still putting orders out. So it may not be super fast. He does have a day job in between his vellum plant magic. Brush sets? Well, DaVinci doesn't sell brush sets, but I recommend DaVinci Maestro Series 10, size 1. It's what I use for all of my painting. So there you go. Ooh. Enamel paints. Ooh. Oh. It's possible to use them. But yeah, so what you're talking about there, Black Wolf, you are most likely referring to the different mica that is used, depending on which manufacturer you're talking about. Reaper has 2 lines, of course. They have the Master Series paint, the MSP line, and they have the Bones line. The MSP line has mica in it, in those flecks, so it's a little bit duller metallic. You can obviously highlight it up relatively easily with brighter shades, though, depending on what you're doing. Or you can use the Bones line. The Bones line uses a silica pigment that is much brighter, so those metallics are super, super shiny, and they're very similar to enamel shine. So, but yeah. That at least is what Reaper uses. I'm a fan of the Army Painter metallics if I'm not using Reaper, just because they're so bright. But they use, I'm relatively sure, a mix of the mica and silica-based pigment flecks. So I would only ever stay away from enamel because it would destroy my very nice brushes. So. All right, there we are in terms of washing down all of the bits and bobs that we don't really care about. So now let's begin highlighting up the skulls. So, Max Styles Painting, scale 75. Oh, I just hands down refuse to endorse any scale 75 anything. So, that's just from me as a human being. All right, so I've got the Bethalion there. I'm taking a brush tip of our Earthen Brown. This is going to be the base for all of the skull and bones. I'm going to move this back, actually. Chewy Boots, well, it's more than just their Kickstarter, because they've done that similar thing over and over and over, but they also took like $900 of my money when I tried to order their entire paint line one time, and then didn't do any shipping, any communication for 9 days. So after 9 days, I sent an email out saying, hey, what's the deal? Can I get an update on this? Didn't get a reply. So 2 days after, or 3 days after that, it had been 11 days, almost 2 weeks with no update. I sent another email saying that I was going to report it as fraud to get all my money back. And then I got a reply from the US stockist saying like, oh, well, everything you order is actually out of stock. The website wasn't up to date. We're having to ship it from overseas on a boat. That's going to take another 2 weeks or so. And I was just like, no, give me my money back. So, you know, that to me doesn't indicate, beyond the fact that they love Nazis, which is very clear by all of the cute chibi characters they sculpt. Yeah, I'm just kind of done with that company. So, but again, that's just me as a human being. Me, Josh, hi, hello. That's my opinion and nobody else's. So, I know they make great paint. That's the thing, right? Like, everybody says that they have really, really great paint, and I'll just never try it out because of the experience that I had. If I hand somebody that much cash and they don't do anything with it, like, all right, bye. So, and then it took them another, I think, like 7 days to give me my money back. So yeah, I'm not playing that game. The opposite of Reaper customer service. Yeah, exactly. Which is funny because I didn't have, you know, I didn't use a bunch of Reaper paints either back in the day. I mean, everybody knows I used pretty much, I had War Colors, I had some Reaper, and then I used a lot of Army Painter because it was so cheap. But now that I'm so used to, like, now I only use 32 paints, period. So, like, that's literally all I use. So I don't have the entire, oh, and a bunch of Vallejo as well. I mean, Vallejo's great if you like really high pigment paint. I still recommend it, right? I'm just used to, now Vallejo game color is a little bit different. They do have a bit of like a flow aid medium built into it, but not as much as the Reaper MSP paints or the Bones paints. So I think that's why I prefer those now, because I'm more of a layering guy. And then if you're somebody that loves like super opaque coverage, the War Colors single layer paints are insane. To this day, no one else makes a paint similar to that. It's as runny as a wash, and it has 100% coverage, and it's really crazy. So, but yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at. Otherwise, I just rock with these 32 colors, and that's all I stick with all of my work. So, all right, we mixed that color in. Now that we have that, we're going to go in with Bethalian Chitin directly. We're going to do our bright highlights here on all of the bone. I'm not going to be highlighting the beaks of any of these bird skulls because they should be a little bit darker in general. Poly S isn't even in production, so yes, you were dating yourself, but it's okay. You can catfish yourself on your own time, I'm sure. Even though the War Colors guy has a series of paints that are similar, if you haven't checked it out. So, I wanted to try the Pro Acryl paints as well, but the guy at Creature Caster like threw me for a loop, and I didn't get the paint. So he was supposed to send out promo paint, and then I guess they promised too much promo paint, and so then they just gave people a gift card to buy a miniature from Creature Caster. So that's what I ended up doing instead. But you know, whenever you work with all this miniature stuff and people send things or they don't send things, like it gets confusing, but you get used to it after a while. Like, you know, I'm still waiting on the stuff from the Conquest game as well. I know that we announced that, and I'm just assuming it's because of the COVID stuff. I haven't reached out to them, but once everything chills out, I'll kind of be like, hey, did you guys forget that? And they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah. It's pretty much how it works, though. All these companies are just, you know, not huge operations, so you gotta have patience with all of them. Good example, right, is what's his homeboy from Impact Miniatures, right? Like, I sent him over some stuff to get a quote. Like, this mini is supposed to be my fun miniature for the Warlord Army, and then right here I'm gonna write sign up for my Patreon. Because, I mean, come on, sign up for my Patreon. But he, you know, it took him like 2 weeks to get back to me, and then he emailed me apologizing and stuff, saying like, hey, didn't have alcohol, I can't do prints, yada, yada, yada. Please, I hope that doesn't, and I'm like, dude, you're totally fine. Take your time. So everybody at every stage of the hobby is impacted by what's going on. So, all right, now that we did that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the same Bethalian color to start highlighting up the feathers. So go ahead and check this out. So I'm going to leave the bottom parts really dark, but I'm just using the brush tip to do the actual feather stroke there. Look at that, every little individual line. I'll go ahead and do the center line as well. Do it here. Remember, your brush needs to be really, really flexible to get precise lines like this. The way to do that is just to make sure that it's wet, and it should work for you. There we are. Backside, I don't really care about as much because it's in shadow, but I'll highlight up a little bit. The backs of those feathers, not too concerned. Feathers in the hair. There we go. Top here, actually, sorry, down here, we'll get these. And I'm trying to leave the very end of them dark. Remember, we're gonna go back with any pure white that you have, so like a linen white, splintered bone, anything like that will be fine. And then we'll highlight up the hair, and we're pretty close to being done, so. Skin obviously took a little bit longer on this miniature, since it is the predominant feature. I know a lot of people have issues with painting skin tones, especially non-traditional skin tones like this. So hopefully it gives you guys a little bit of practice into doing some stuff you wouldn't typically do. Partially one of the reasons why I selected this mini, right? Because I knew that it would give opportunity to stuff that people wouldn't necessarily be used to. Go ahead and highlight up these skulls down here that I forgot conveniently, like a real good painter. There we go. Good painters forget things. So if you forget things while you're painting, you're a good painter. Just remember that. All right. So now I need to get whatever white I'm going to use. I believe, what did I have here? Splintered bone. You can use linen white. Literally, it's not going to make a difference. You just need something brighter than what we've already been using. Painter's choice on that specific white. Just don't use like a pearlescent white. You'll be all right. I think which one is it? Which one's the Reaper one? It's like I want to say it has the word pearl in it. I could be wrong. Sorry, I'm taking a coffee sip here. I'm dying. What is happening here? Oh yeah, got my eBay refund money. got scammed on an N95 mask. So that's cool. They gave me my money back though. All right. Yes, master painters forget everything. So. So now I'm just using my white, making sure it's thin enough so I can have some control. All right, so now we're just gonna do the highlighting on the feathers. Try and have some control here, the best that you can. You can dry brush or overbrush these and then just wash them down afterwards, but you already know the deal. I want you to be manual painters. I don't want you dry brushing. I don't want you doing anything. I want you guys to have good brush control. I mean, look, this is what I'm talking about. Have faith and just paint every single little one, and it should work out for you. Here we go. There we go. Obviously brighter than the skulls that we have. It's really the only thing you're trying to gauge. Now, the tips of the feathers as well is where you could go in with different colors if you wanted. That'd be easy enough. Or, like I said, you could actually just paint these white like we're doing now, and then tint them any color you want afterwards. I mean, that's also a completely easy option for you. Oh boy, look who just flooded the mini. Hands up if you're an idiot.
My hands are
My
up.
hand went up. Yeah, my hand
What do
went
I
up
do
too. Now pat your head and rub your belly.
Done.
Okay. How did you do that, but you hit the mic button at the same time? Justin, you're a liar. I know your setup.
Really
you are
wanna
not.
know what
Okay. All right. Whatever. To
I
quote.
trained my cat to help me stream.
Okay. We'll go with that. We'll go with that for today. Okay, so now for the hair, we're going to do a little bit of a weird operation. I'm taking the olive shadow, I'm taking the earth brown, I'm mixing the two, and I'm mixing it with the white that we have out already. It's going to create kind of a intriguing khaki color. Miniatures Den is rating. Greetings.
Hey,
All right,
thanks,
so
Miniatures Den.
change my focal point here. So now then, start gently overbrushing highlights into the hair. What that means is I'm just using the edge of the brush that is loaded with paint to block out the highlight color. We will go brighter with it. It's kind of like a dirty blonde. Was the final color we ended up going with, so. Hello. And there we are.
How was your stream there, Miniatures Den?
Yeah, who do we raid now if he's finished?
That's a good question.
Right? We've literally been talking this entire hour about how we were gonna raid your channel, but I guess now we can't do it. I mean, it is what it is, you know? Alright, so now I'm taking our Abathalion, I'm mixing it in to get a little bit brighter so I can start highlighting up some of the front bangs, things like that. Better luck next time. Yeah, exactly. Going down her middle part, just to bring some prominence to it. That way it shows up a little bit. Just a little bit of middle part, nothing too bad. All right, so we got that rocking and rolling. Remember, I still want to see all your paint jobs. We don't have a scheduled community review show for all the Miniature Monday kits currently, but I'm sure we'll get one at some point, or we'll just do a big thread in the Reaper group. So remember, if you are sharing them, you can send them directly to me. You can tag Reaper on Twitter or Instagram if that is your preferred method of image delivery, or you can just post them to the Reaper group, and you can tag me in the comments. You can do Miniature Monday, whatever you want. I'll typically always see it if it's on Facebook. But I'm looking forward to seeing the miniatures from this kit. I mean, I've seen people. So like Joni, I've seen her lizard men. I've seen her panther. I've seen other people's panthers too. But less of the lizard men. So I kind of want to see more of those. Definitely want to see people's skin work on her. I feel like that would be a nice challenge for people too, because I know it's not as typical. So, yeah, Shark, your high contrast panther. I like your panther though. Actually, I think I commented that I liked your panther, didn't I? Let's see how close we got to our crappy original. Hey, we got really close. I think the skin is like 2% brighter on the original, which is very rare for how we typically roll. Usually we're brighter on the second time around, so that's pretty funny. But, are we done? Like, what? Like, are we... Is that where we're at? Should we do a tattoo? Should we do a tattoo? Let's do a tattoo. All right, we're gonna do a tattoo break. Here we go. All right, so...
You know, freehand a tattoo?
Yeah, we're gonna do some freehand. I'm gonna take bright turquoise, and we're gonna do some freehand here. This is the bonus challenge. All right, grab a different brush. This brush is trash. One of my trash brushes. I need a good brush. Why am I talking like George Bush's nightmare uncle? All right. Here we go. All right, let's see if I can ruin this. Let's see. So I'm gonna do like a snake wrapping around her leg. Maybe not a snake, maybe just a swirl. I don't want it to get too thick. With 3 C's, am I right? All right, so. Oh my God, what did I just do, guys? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If money was no object with 3D printer, would you invest? I mean, I would just get a, whatever they're called, form 3, form 2, form 3, whichever. I would just get one of the big boy ones. All right, so we're gonna continue our freehand here. So it went down that way. So that means it would pick back up down here. Oh, I know what we're doing with this. Okay, cool. My brain has connected the dots in the pattern. All right, so then we'll do this angle. And then right up into the kneecap. We're gonna do a little swirl action like that. There you go. All right, so now I need some Bethalian chitin. I'm actually gonna add some phthalo green to make it a little bit more poppy. Wow, I loved how I just like beefed that terribly. Then down the side of the leg, or the kneecap rather. Go, and then the top of the kneecap. Okay, I'm gonna add more of a highlight. This time around, pretty much only phthalo green highlight. And I'm going to do an intermediate glaze on top of this too, just to blend it in, since I'm trying to keep it super thin. All right, that works. And now I just need an intermediate color, which would be something like this, relatively thin. There we go. All right, so that will be it for this today. Again, so if you're watching this and you're wondering if there was a prep video, if you missed anything like that, there was no prep video for her this week because I filmed one and it was under 2 minutes of just filing stuff, so that's not really worth anybody's time. Otherwise, that will be it. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's paint jobs this time around. Like I thought, we were a little bit darker in the skin tone, which is totally fine. I think I actually started the skin on the right mixed in, highlighted up a little bit more so that's pretty cool. Remember, next week we will be working on the big bad guy from this kit, so here he is. He's just an upgraded version of the lizard man that we painted before. Remember, I do want to see all of your stuff. The April kit, John said, will be restocked. You can check that out at reapermini.com, and you can get that as well. Remember to also check out my Patreon. We've got a class this weekend. We're going to be working on the, I believe, Stone Lurker. Am I right? Let me see.
You know who she reminds me of, actually?
Storm from X-Men.
That's fantastic. But no, I was thinking the native girl from, I think it's Atlantis. Is that the name of the movie?
Yes. That's actually a great movie. And they had the same color glow, so it makes sense that you would say that. How funny.
Right.
The subconscious of my brain probably did that.
The tattoo was like, I love that movie as a kid.
You know, it's terrible, the sequel they made to that, so just don't watch it. But the original still holds up. I watched it, I think, like late last year.
Wait, they made a sequel? I mean, I won't touch it.
Yeah,
but...
it's bad. Just don't. Just don't.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, is there a link to get the basing materials, the foliage? Yeah, so Orkluck, that is, those are vellum plants. You can check that out at Wicked Elf Miniatures. That's Gregory Zaniga, who's a instructor and judge and competitor and all-around awesome painter at ReaperCon and other conventions. Make sure you check him out. You can check it out, Wicked Elf Miniatures on Facebook or wickedelfminiatures.com. Click on the shop, and he's got some cool options. I didn't have the actual jungle basing kit. I used some of the water plants to make that. So he has jungle ferns and stuff that are phenomenal too. Then there's also a video that I put together that shows how I prepare the vellum because they're paper. So they're little paper plants, but they're really cool. They're in scale. They're really, really nice. He's also still shipping orders and everything. If you can throw some money his way, that'd be really, really awesome. So remember, this weekend we're painting the Stone Lurker on Patreon. We're also working on the Mantis Man Gladiator. That's a bonus stream. So you can check that out as well. Patreon.com. You can see it in the top left corner right there. Patreon.com/Mini Painting Studio. Remember, follow the Amazon link. Give me a little kickback and some love there as well. And I'm still booking up private lessons right now. I've got 2 people scheduled probably in the next upcoming week, and that is always flexible for your schedule. You can check that out at the shop at minipainting.studio, or on Patreon you can sign up and save a little bit of cash and get those lessons as well. So thanks so much, and the video, Orkluck, it should be posted with the basing prep in the, well, really, I guess the first video for this one. So, but thanks so much, everybody. Who are we rating today, Justin? Shout out to everybody that just got bingo for me saying that.
Yeah. Real quick, actually, I think we have an interview with Greg on our YouTube channel, too, if you guys get a chance to check that out.
Oh, yeah. I also have an interview. He also did my podcast, so you can check out the Paintcast, and he did that as well. He was a great guy to have on. His painting journey is a cool one, for sure. So, we got Arthur back in the booth here as we say goodbye.
Oh, Arthur.
Yep.
Another thing, too, is we have shows for the rest of the week. We have tomorrow, should be the premiere of Proctor's show at 4 o'clock Central. We have Ann's stuff in the morning, Monday to Friday, starting at 11:30. Josh will be painting more of that vibrant, badass dragon on Wednesday.
I am. So?
We have Reaper Live.
I didn't know if I was or not.
Yes. And, well, not Bones 5 Live, sorry, that was last week. You get another week for that one. But outside of that, yeah, let's just check out all of our shows this week. And you always got to stop by and see Arthur. Look at Arthur. Look at that face.
Look, Arthur's
That's-
so happy, guys.
It's just
Please,
the best.
please sign up for Patreon so I can keep feeding Arthur. Please, thank you so much.
Yes, please
so
do.
much.
We are going to be rating Mocha.
Ah, say hey to Mocha for us, everybody.
Go ahead and start the raid. There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for stopping by. Spread the Reaper love, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks, guys.
See you later, guys.